Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden. Welcome to a rare Sunday stream. We're just here to hang out today. It's been way too long since I've actually been able to read Twitch chat and interact with Twitch chat, so we're just gonna hang out. I'm happy to chat. Tell me how you've been. I'm happy to tell you how I've been if you ask. Anything like that. No, I'm not gonna do weekly news. I mean, I could, but I think what ends up happening and like what started happening last time is I would just search for what would be considered news, and then I would be like, I don't want to talk about any of this, and so I kind of just stopped doing the news streams. What's up, Galloping Tapeworm? I've been good. I've been good. React Roots was pretty fun. It was exciting to get that done, and I definitely have a lot of takeaways from it, and I've got some ideas of how to move forward. So yeah. Search for interesting stuff anyway. Then yeah, I think if people aren't talkative or chatty, I'm more than open to just let's go hit r/JavaScript and see what's new in the world of JavaScript and programming and tech. I'm also like I'm just in general not up to date on the news. So like when you see me looking at news and stuff like that, a lot of times it's like my first time even seeing some of this stuff. Can you see the dog? Honestly, I could set up the IRL thing and go outside with him. I'm open to it. Let's wait for people to get here. And then we'll go in the backyard with my dog. Yes. Hassan Ali is saying, just wanted to say thank you for showing React Roots on stream. It really helped me to understand some stuff. Glad to hear it. Yeah. And I'm going to be releasing all of the VODs and stuff this week. I need to package it up. I need to figure out how I'm going to package it up because I think I'm going to share it on Super Pair. And Nika, thank you for the resub. Like it's possible for me to actually create a paid course on here. So this series was the live one, but I could create one that is just the VODs, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to like lock down access to like the code and the exercises and the projects and the slides. Because I don't want to have to manually add people to like a private GitHub. So I need to figure all of that out. And I might use, I don't know. I have to research my options in terms of how I'm going to host the course and the stuff. So yeah. Oh yeah, Pablo, link me. I remember, like, I think you released it in the middle of React Root, so I didn't get to check it out. What's up, Default? Crypt, welcome in. But yeah, if you link it, I saw you talk about it in the Discord. Basically, it's like an IDE in the browser for Svelte. I'm more than happy to check it out. Yeah, so Pablo built this for the Svelte hackathon. Wow, it looks great, Pablo. And look at this. It's like a little IDE. And you can build Svelte apps right here inside of the web browser. Svelte kit apps right inside of the web browser. Heck yeah. Do we know who won the hackathon? Actually, that'd be pretty interesting to see it for the hackathon too. But yeah, so like, if you want to tell us, Pablo, so it's also Antonio Sarcevic. Cool. If you want to tell us, Pablo, like what's the tech stack? Because I know, is it using something like StackBlitz or whatever StackBlitz was using? There's some way of like actually running node modules in the web browser, and then this is like a VS Code or something like that. Okay, so Svelte Summit, they're gonna announce who the winner is. But yeah, this is awesome. I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it right now, but literally, you can go in here, you can write a SvelteKit app without ever leaving the web browser, which is pretty crazy because SvelteKit is a full stack framework, right? So typically when you're dealing with like backend code, you would need like a Node.js process. You need to run it on your computer. But the fact that I can just go in here and edit stuff is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like this. Instant. And then unused data. Yeah. Griffin says, chatty stuff. I'm hoping to finish a course on Node next week. Mainly going over Express, which I'm hoping will help me transition into Vue and React after. Is React Router anything like Express? They share some commonalities because React Router typically is client-side routing and Express is back-end routing. So things like route params, they share that. But other than that, they're very different. They handle very different use cases in very different scenarios. So using SvelteKit, Code Mirror, Pocket Base, Web Container from StackBlitz. Yeah, so Web Container, super interesting technology from StackBlitz. For the longest time, I thought StackBlitz was like actually spinning up a Docker container in the cloud. And so like when you go in here for, let's say, just like a blank Node.js project, I thought this was literally connecting you to a remote machine, but it's not. They literally have a Node.js process running inside of the web browser. And there's like this little REPL. So like you're not actually on a server. This is just like it's in your web browser. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. They released a thing called NCC. I haven't heard of it. Totally different. Yeah, it's mainly backend stuff for sure. So I thought Code Sandbox, maybe Code Sandbox was using Docker containers, but Code Sandbox also recently switched to doing everything in the browser, but they wanted to make it very clear that they're not using web containers. I forget what they're doing. They released the packages as open source. I think it's actually on their blog. But they in their blog, even they were like, yeah, Sandpack. Yeah, Sandpack 2.0 and a Node.js runtime for any browser. But in this blog post, they're like, yeah, you're going to compare us to web containers, but we're not actually web containers. Yeah. We get that Nodebox will invariably be compared to a web container. But yeah, so I thought Code Sandbox used a like a remote Docker instance for the longest time, and then now they have their own thing. They call it Sandpack, which is technically different than web containers, which is how they're doing it. Yeah. Web containers, dev environments in your web app. Yeah, this is super interesting though, because like with this tech, a lot of documentation and tutorials get a lot more interactive because it's way less overhead to embed something similar. It doesn't have to be this full featured, right? This has multiple tabs and everything, but in a code base, you could very easily embed like a simple little file explorer and the file that you can edit. And now you've got some like really good interactive documentation. What's up, Shark Turnout? Thank you for the resub. Hello, hello. Honestly, we should switch to software and game development. I was in the just chatting category, but we're talking about tech stuff. We always end up talking about tech stuff, so we're switching to that category. So yeah. Nodebox. Yeah, what's up, Fun Planet? The coolest uses of web containers is that I haven't seen this either. Let's see. Interactive command line applications don't have to be hard. Oh. But like in the browser. Fascinating. I guess it was just like a demo. It's not actually happening, but yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, I agree with that, Veritatas. I think like a lot of the in-browser code editors are sometimes harder to use because you're like missing shortcuts and you don't always get to install all of your preferred extensions. I don't know if I would ever switch to a fully in web browser editor as part of my workflow, but it does make sense, I think, for like one-off things like code reviews, maybe like instant code reviews, like even on the go, that kind of thing makes sense to me, but I don't know if I'd ever use it as my full-time dev environment. Yeah. Yeah, and anytime you see, so, and that's the thing, when I saw documentation that had like an embedded editor and an embedded terminal, I was like, are you literally spinning up a Docker container for everybody that visits the documentation? But apparently they're not. It's running inside of the web browser, which is fascinating that we've come this far. What's up, Moshiko? Welcome in. Asanali said, today we had a C class. It felt so difficult and harder to write code because of simple things take a lot of time. Yeah, I don't know why when you print F and C, you got to specify the D for integer. I like how we just console log and do nothing else in JavaScript. Yeah, JavaScript abstracts so much away from us. The thing is, the JavaScript implementations that we use are typically written in like C++, which is a little bit nicer than C, but it's still pretty low level. So like, yeah, in the world of JavaScript, we're pretty spoiled in how easy things are. My wife is actually taking CS50 right now, which is the Harvard um, computer science class. She already has worked as a programmer, but she's trying to just get better like computer science core skills because she actually went to a coding boot camp about like 6 years ago. But she's trying to refresh her more computer sciencey type skills, and so she's taking this course. And C is one of the hardest things that she's ever done. She like the thing is I've tried to help her a few times, but even I was like, yeah, like this is kind of what you have to do, but I'm not familiar enough to like help you directly. I can give you some ideas, but it's very manual. It's very manual. Yeah. Oh yeah, is slow mode on? What's happening? I mean, it's 10 seconds slow mode. How about 3 seconds slow mode? uh, yeah, and that makes sense, Pablo. Like this is fully. And actually, do you want to talk about that? What are some things in this that are like specific to SvelteKit? I guess also like surfacing these errors are pretty cool. Like this doesn't happen automatically in Code Mirror, does it? Like the fact that you're surfacing these is pretty interesting. Yeah, what's up, Stephen Ball? Welcome in. Yeah, I agree with that, Codex. What's up, Codex? Welcome in. I mean, I was doing some project reviews for all the people that took the React Roots course, and I was using the GitHub view. So you may not know this. If you're ever on GitHub, just press period. It drops you into an editor, github.dev/the repo name, and then you literally have like VS Code inside of your web browser, which is slick, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. And so like this is that combined with like previewing your app, and then I guess that right hand side was just like informational. Command K. Oh, wow. Format the current file or create a route. Oh wow, look at it. Okay. So Pablo, did you have the idea of like putting this into like an Electron app? Because like imagine an IDE just tailored for SvelteKit. I guess technically you could create it as like a VS Code extension, but like, boom, I want a route. This is awesome. Like I'd love to be able to do this in VS Code, right? So I want a page. I need some backend code. I guess you don't support TypeScript. Oh, here we go. Use TypeScript. I was about to say you don't support TypeScript. Boom, TS to JS. And I want a server file. And I want this to be bananas. Let's go. Sick. That's awesome. That's awesome. You failed the class? Yeah. I guess when we were talking about C, or you were pointing out to somebody who talked about that they did C. Use it for testing when you find an interesting code you want to test out. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. And DeBlue Mini says, I'm currently writing my thesis report. I just wish that I could code, present it, and not a 15,000 word essay. Yeah, I think that's the thing about like university and whatever else is. But honestly, it's also like the real world, right? Because yes, you can build a thing, but you also got to be able to talk about the thing and sell the thing to people to tell them why the thing you built was good or like what it does. But I get what you're saying. You don't want to have to write an entire paper describing what it does. Did I learn domain-driven design and was it useful? I never used that term, but I think in a sense, a lot of the stuff that I did professionally, because I was working at a company that did things in a specific problem domain, the code that we wrote was in line with that problem domain. So DDD, or domain-driven design, is a software design approach focusing on modeling software to match a domain according to input from the domain's experts. So like, honestly, this is just how to build good software, because we build software for users. Our users are typically in some kind of industry, whether it's anything. It could be anything. Let's just say, for whatever reason, I just thought of bowling. Like if our customers are professional bowlers or people that own a bowling alley, it might make sense for our code to align with the domain knowledge of bowling. And I don't know why I chose that example because I actually don't know anything about bowling. I want to go bowling. But knowing like how to score a game of bowling, or I guess also maybe you're implementing like the rental system if you're like at a public bowling alley or something like that. And so the code that you're implementing is in line with that domain knowledge of the thing that you're doing. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, thank you, Gatun. Like the financial industry. So if you're building code for the financial industry, your stuff typically is very closely aligned with like financial concepts. Same thing for like healthcare. So yeah, I think I've done it, but I just never called it DDD. I think it might make sense like if you approach this initially as DDD, then everyone can be on the same page as to yes, this is what we're doing. But honestly, this is just how we build software. I don't see how you would build software any other way, really. Yeah, David, and what's up? Welcome in, David. It's been a while. I personally haven't done CS50, but it is super interesting that it takes you kind of through all of the stuffs. So I think they do Scratch initially. They're doing C now. There's Python, JavaScript, SQL. They cover like a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and Codex, you've been doing like game stuff. So dealing with pointers, memory allocation. Yeah. Yeah, and it depends because like sometimes you might be in an environment that requires C, like it's a low level or like embedded environment, so you might have to use C. But um, other than that, there's better languages, honestly. Yeah, you can browse SvelteKit. So with the icons, you can browse SvelteKit documentation, add a Svelte integration, Svelte snippets. Okay, how do we browse the documentation? Um, oh, here. I want to know about hooks. Wow. Does this take, and then it just takes. This is sick, Pablo. I mean, the whole idea of, okay, now that let's say you're using SvelteKit, you've invested in it, now to have all of this developer tooling for it, I think is actually like really slick. This is cool. Um, oh, I didn't know that, Codex. So you mean for GitHub, you can get all your extensions? Yeah. Fascinating. So yeah, Pablo is saying that you could also use this offline because it's a PWA. How long did it take you all to build this? Because this looks awesome. I guess that makes sense. I guess I've never looked at what extensions exist for VS Code, but I'm guessing they have code generation tools for that too. Yeah, I haven't used the extension. It's usable on mobile? What? Let's go. An iPhone SE. Wow. Okay, so we get the thing. Great. We got our code here. Look at this. It's like a little. Oh man. Okay. So I've never tried to develop on mobile. Um, are there apps that? Because I've never thought about this. Like, if you want to have a code editor on mobile, you of course would have like your home row down here of like all the possible things that you would want to do. Here's the other crazy thing. This would work as a hybrid mobile app, and now you have like a CLI in the hybrid mobile app because it's just running inside of a web page. Fascinating. Fascinating. Yeah, this is great, Pablo. We put a ton of work into this. This is really cool. What's up, Kai? Welcome in. Separating your services into domains like users, scoring, lane organization. Yeah. And I guess I just think of that as like object-oriented design. So yeah, so CS50 is typically I think you can usually get all of the course materials for free, but like if you want to have your exercises reviewed or be able to submit them, I think that costs money. But yeah, they release their lectures every year on YouTube. What do I think of Codex? Oh, it seems pretty cool. I saw the video that Fireship did on it. It seemed fine. I think he even showed there are certain workflows where it just makes sense to write the code first. So I don't know. Yeah, Pablo, this is a work of art. Great, great work, man. This is awesome. Um, yeah, what's up, Bram? I'm doing good. Honestly, we didn't say hello to everybody. Let's say hello to everybody because it's been a while since I've done that too. If you want me to say hi to you, you can say hi, hello, hello, hey, yo, cheers, greetings, highest up, what's up, morning, afternoon, howdy, good day, what's up, Murdoch? Coding hio, vohio, bogahay, say any one of these things, I'll notice you. I will acknowledge you. We'll go back in time. Limotes was the first one to say hi. What's up, Limotes? And hello, Deverdie and Poblip. What's up, Griffin and Pablo and Veeb and Veritatas and Galloping Tapeworm? Hello, Mark and Nuki Poo. What's up, America 2050 and Hasanali and Default and Crypt and Fun Planet? And hello, Shark Turn Up and Moshiko and Sipping Tears and Steven. You changed your name, Steven. You're the same Steven, aren't you? Did I ask you to change your name? But you changed your name. That's you, right? Same person. What's up, Steven? And Kai. Hello, Bram and Murdoch. And Duckfaced, and Bacon Partner, and Urkudent, and Arpats, and Lat, and Mike the Tree Climber. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see your names in the chat. I missed you all. I know you were here, but I didn't get to see you because I was focusing on my course. Cool. And Urkudent, thank you. Thank you for the 6-month prime. What's up, Fun Coder? Welcome in, welcome in. Let me I guess just show you my dog because I don't think it'll be too hard. It took too much time. Yeah. So I've also thought about like if I do it in the future, how would I do it? But because I think 2 solid weeks is just too much, even for the people taking the course. Like they need spacing in between the lessons to have time to work on the exercises and stuff. So the next course I do, I think will be spaced out more, and yeah, it'll be spaced out more, which will give people time to work on exercises and would let me do streaming and stuff in the in between days. And thank you, Bram. I appreciate that. All right, let's see if I can remember. How this works. The plan is to just hang out. I'm I'm open to just responding to anything you say in the chat. I am gonna go show you my backyard and my dog in just a second. Chill out, exactly. Will this work? Did I do it right? Can't remember what the preview URL is. Oh well, I'll get it in a second. The next listed stream is on Friday, so the schedule is up to date. I'll be live this Friday to work on listed, but also I'm going to be live tomorrow and Tuesday for interviews. So tomorrow I'm interviewing Jake Archibald, and on Tuesday I'll be interviewing True or Mutru, and then Friday we're doing the listed stream. I did a stream where I tried out Remix. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like their project scaffolding. It's like very full featured compared to like Next.js out of the box. You're taking a MERN course that has one lecture a week. Is it in person or is it online or what is it? Oh, that's glad to hear it, Brom. Yeah, I mean, I was probably just I don't even know if if my advice was that good, but I think yeah, just balancing your time between various things usually helps, you know. So I'm glad that worked out for you. Yeah, they'll be on YouTube eventually. So they'll be live on Twitch, and then they'll be uploaded to the archive channel first. So if you check out the archive channel, this has basically all of the full unedited live streams, and then uh, a week or two from now, they'll be uploaded to the main channel, and they'll be edited down. So ideally, like half the length of the original live stream. It's an online Zoom class. That's really cool. It's really cool. No, you didn't miss him, Madeline. We're gonna go see him right now. Yeah, Blazor Union. I haven't used Blazor Union or Blazor United. I need to get into this .NET stuff for sure. Fascinating. All right, I need to figure out what is the publish URL for this live streaming thing that I do because I completely forgot. Um, play, play. I said preview, not play. Play live feed one. Okay. Moment of truth. Test. So this is I'm setting up a little area over there with my stuffs. I'm working on it. It's gonna be like people usually have in the background, and then I don't know if I should show you that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to yes. Hopefully the Wi-Fi works well enough. Here, let me keep I'm gonna keep the Twitch chat open, just to make sure that you can actually see, because my Wi-Fi might not make it in the backyard, and then I maybe not don't have 5G in the backyard. We'll see. We'll see. What do I want to do? Um, auto rotate. Yeah. So there's a bunch of it was just from the former the former owner of this house. The floor just has a bunch of spray paint on it. I didn't do that. Okay. I will be back momentarily. Let me know in the Twitch chat, just like if things are choppy in the Twitch chat, just say choppy, and then I'll try to switch over to uh, my cell connection. But here we go. We're gonna go in my backyard, and we're also gonna see my dog. I'll be back soon. Let me know in the chat if you can hear and see me. I have milk bones in my pocket, so he's really interested. Come on, bud. Dog. So, this is my backyard. It's a bit of a mess, but we're starting to get things going. I hung up these lights over the weekend, and I'm just leaving them up before I put the bulbs in because I want to make sure that they actually stay. But they're hung from here to the tree. And then my wife set up this little area for the fire pit, and then we also set up a deck back there, and she's actually going to paint a mural on that wall. But this is Panzer. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Yeah, my birthday's next month, so we're trying to get everything nice and in order, so we can have a party back here. We're going to put some turf down here too. He is perfect. My wife and I are both obsessed with him because every day we're like, every time I look at him, he just makes me happy. I'm very excited to have him as my dog. There's actually a husky that lives on the other side of the fence, so they like to talk to each other through the fence. Yeah, so our plan is to plant clover. We're waiting for the last freeze because it actually snowed like an inch yesterday. And so we're waiting for the freeze to stop, and then we're going to plant clover everywhere. Because as you can see, I don't have any grass. It's just like mud at this point. Okay, can you do tricks? Can you do tricks? All right. Sit it. Sit. Oh, good boy. Can you shake on it? Oh, good boy. Can you shake with the other hand? Shake with the other hand. Come on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Can you touch it? Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, I think so, yeah. So the plan is to also, like, have clover growing in between the stuff there. And then there used to be a fire pit back there, but we're going to fill it in, and then just all of that we're going to try to have clover. And then we also got some raised garden beds back there. Again. Sit it. No, sit it. Touch it. I've lived here for a little over 3 years. In this house. I've been in Denver since 2015. He is a good boy. Look at it. He also likes hedgehogs. This is his his bandana. Look at that slobber. We have there's slobber and hair all over our house. It's the price to pay to live with a majestic beast. I also tell him he's got short legs. He's big, but his legs are tiny. All right, get up. Get up. Get up. He's also like he like hardly ever barks unless there's something seriously wrong. He's like, nah. All right, let me see if I can get him to run. He just had the realization like, oh man. I'm out of breath. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Come on. Yeah, he frolics. Well, it's funny because I don't think he doesn't understand his size. So he I don't know. I think he thinks he's more agile than he actually is. Yeah. Yeah. Panzer, come on, bud. Do you have a dog, or they're just visiting? Okay. Come on, bud. He's excited. Okay, come on. Let's go. All right, I'll see you all back downstairs. We're gonna go back. But no, we actually he's trying to get over there. But we have the dog on a diet because he weighs probably 5 to 10 pounds more than he should. At least that's what our vet said. So he's actually on diet food, and we keep track of how many bowls of food we give him a day. So. All right, I'll see you all downstairs. Come on, bud. And we're back. And I'm still out of breath because I need to get in shape. Yeah, Bogdanovich is mentioning their dog doesn't eat regular dog food, just eats human food. I don't know if ice cream directly would be poison for dogs because dogs can drink milk. Maybe there might be some ingredients, some kind of sweetener that might not be good for dogs. So yeah, but that was fun. Thank you everyone for looking at my dog. Thank you for looking at my dog. And if you're just joining us, we're just chatting. We're just hanging out. We might look at Reddit a little bit to see what's happening in the news, but otherwise we're just hanging out. Yeah, so it's actually funny, and it also depends on the size of the dog. Because so little dogs, if they eat just a little bit of chocolate, that's probably all that is required for them to get sick. But bigger dogs, like my wife tells a story. So her family had a Great Pyrenees, which is like a big dog, big white dog. They had a Great Pyrenees growing up. And Vedith, thank you for the 1 year. That's awesome. But it got into some Halloween candy, and it was completely fine. It did not even phase them, and it ate a bunch of chocolate. But that's because it was a giant dog. So yeah. So it depends, but mostly you don't want them to eat chocolate. But it's not into sparkling beverages. Yeah. Gave my corgi sparkling water. Her face and bombastic side eye gave me were priceless. Yeah. My dog is super picky. He basically only eats meat and cheese in terms of human food. Meat, cheese, and anything that's been smothered in butter. He will not eat like a raw carrot or, I mean, really just anything. Like we literally leave food out and he won't touch it unless it's meat, cheese, or butter. And then he eats his dog food, of course, but he's super picky. Super picky. Cool. Cool. I guess let's see what's at the top of r/programming. 3 hours ago, leverage the richness of HTTP status codes. German Shepherds love carrots and cucumbers. Yeah, I've seen a ton of dogs that will eat vegetables. He will not eat standalone vegetables. Yeah. When did I meet Panzer? It was first my wife's dog before it was my dog, or before it was our dog. So when I met my wife, I met Panzer. um, if you're not a REST expert, you probably use the same HTTP codes over and over in your responses: 200, 404, and 500. Sure. I see. So this is kind of just like these are status codes you may not have known exist, but you can use them if you want to. Never heard of 205. I've heard of 201. When trying to build a RESTful API, I use status code 201. Recently had a whoa moment trying to find out how to protect routes in Remix. Wait. Can I have a parent route loader validate the user and protect all child routes? You can't. Okay. I've never looked into this. Let's see what this says though. This I'm intrigued. Let me change back my category. During a client-side transition, to make your app as speedy as possible, Remix will call all of your loaders in parallel. Each of them needs to have its own authentication check. This is probably not different than what you were doing before Remix. It may just be more obvious now. Outside of Remix, when you make multiple fetches to your API routes, each of those endpoints needs to validate the user session. Yeah. And so each of these loaders would be a nested route. And so I guess what you're saying is if someone tried to go to that nested route directly and you didn't have the check session of a parent route, it technically would work. Yeah, I think ultimately they do it for good reason. It's like at the end of the day, like if you were building this app separately, you would still need those checks in a back end route. I don't know. Does this mean I need to query the DB for each route? You probably should be using some kind of caching. I think, like, honestly, that's why like stateless user sessions make a lot of sense for something like this, because then you don't query the database, you just validate a token. And I guess if your sessions are stored in a database, maybe you store them in a place like a Redis store that has like quicker lookups than like a regular database. I don't know. I don't have experience with this, so, but it kind of seems like that's what you would need to do. And basically the parallels that they're making here are that if you were doing this like in Next.js or something like that, I guess Next doesn't really have nested routing, so any of the data loaded by some of the nested pages would have had to have had the auth session anyways. I don't know. React gave up on React. Yeah, what's up, Fob? It is interesting. I talked about this during my course last week, but if you look in the React docs and you look at how to start a project, the first thing it says is just use Next.js. Now, that's not the end of the world, because I think like Next.js is a framework and it has some sensible defaults, And typically, when you're building a React application, there's a lot of decisions that you need to make. So if you use Next.js, then you don't have to make those decisions. And you get things like SEO and static site generation out of the box. But I would argue, and I would think, and I mean, I don't even know if something like this exists. I would much prefer, yeah, so it's still better than create a React app. And what's up, Stas? Welcome in. But I think the thing is, like, for a lot of apps, Next.js actually is too much, I think. Now, they don't have that opinion. They're basically like, if you're going to be building a React app, just use Next.js. But I disagree. I think there are some things that just don't need the overhead of all of Next.js. Now, I think there should be some kind of framework that makes all the decisions for you. So it says like, all right, well, we're going to use Redux Toolkit. We're going to use React Router. We're going to use, what else do you need? It was some form validation library. We're going to use the class names utility. Like, it basically assembles all of those packages and it says, okay, this is how we build a React app, because those are also the decisions that you still need to make even if you choose Next.js, because Next.js doesn't choose a global state management pattern for you. And it doesn't choose, I guess it chooses, if it solves routing and it solves backend data loading. But that's about it, right? There's other things that you need beyond just that in a React app. So yeah, it's actually super interesting. Like the whole thing that happened when the PR against the React docs was made to make Vite the first thing in the list. Basically, the whole result of that entire discussion was, we're just gonna make Next.js the default, which I think is like the worst possible outcome. Like the option to use something like Vite or Parcel should not be hidden behind an expand collapse box, right? It should be in this list. It should be like, because most people are not going to go do this to finally see that Vite and Parcel are listed down here. I don't know if they got paid to do it. I think, honestly, I think it just has a lot to do with like Twitter influencers. And the thing is, like, Twitter influencers are only like, it's a small percentage of the people actually using React on a day-to-day. And like Vercel has a big marketing budget, and there are a lot of people that like using Next and like using Vercel. So that's a thing. But it's like, for instance, like I really don't use Twitter. Like, I use Twitter to say that I'm going to go live, and lately I've been using it to advertise my React course, but like I'm not any sort of like thought leader on Twitter. And Int82, thank you for that resub. Appreciate you. But there are a lot of like thought leaders and people with opinions and hundreds of thousands of followers on Twitter that if they have the opinion that Next.js is the thing to use and Vercel is the thing to use, you now have all of their followers seeing that opinion and saying, okay, I don't necessarily need to think for myself. I'm just going to go with what this person has said. Now, there's good and bad to that, right? Like, they're obviously a thought leader for a reason, and they have reasons for making the decisions that they make. But yeah, well, I think that's the other thing. Is like, so yeah, and I'm not super up to date on all of the discussion around React becoming server first and stuff like that. But that is a thing, right? So React has introduced server components, and now Next.js is taking advantage of server components. But there are still applications that don't require server-side rendering. And that's, I think that's my main point. It's like, and people still build apps that aren't server-side rendered, and that should be an option when you're choosing something like React. So yeah, I don't know. And what's up, Oscar? I don't know if I said hey, but it's been a while. It's good to see your face in the chat. I feel like maybe I saw you during the React Roots course, but I was too preoccupied. The React people will just get moved to Vercel and call it a day. I mean, honestly, that wouldn't be horrible, as long as they still gave us the option to not be server-side rendered. I guess, I mean, and technically, you could still get that option with Next.js. But I think it's the default. Like, if you generate a Next app and then you deploy it to Vercel, it's going to be a serverless function. It's going to be server-side rendered. I think you have to opt out in terms of like the initial configuration and deployment. AZ says, thanks for getting me interested in Vite. Migrated from a Create React app to Vite and never looking back. Yeah, and Vite is cool. They have a good ecosystem. A lot of people are using it. Maybe I should be more active on Twitter discussions. I just don't know how. I just really don't know how, because I don't know if the thing is, like, I feel like if anything I say potentially sounds like I am looking down on the people that like use Twitter regularly. I'm not looking down on them. It's just like, it's not a way that I like to interact. Like this is my platform, right? You watch me on Twitch, but basically you have to choose to be here. I don't just show up in your feed. I guess technically I might show up and recommended on Twitch, but for the most part, most of you that are here clicked on here because you want to be here. On Twitter, it's just a feed of like varying opinions, and people just put their opinions out there, and some of them get traction, and you get like nice little likes and hearts and retweets for it, and some of them don't get traction, and some of them cause drama. I think mainly I kind of want to avoid the drama. I don't know how to walk the line between like posting interesting opinions and not making it drama. I don't know. And then also, like, I've always just thought, like, are my opinions really that original? Like, are they even worth putting out there? The thing is, probably, because like a lot of the stuff that I see, I mean, and this is kind of my criticism of it. I was like, yeah, that's not an original opinion, but I guess you just said it out loud. And for some people, it might be the first time they heard that. So here's 100,000 views and 2,000 likes. I don't know. It seems kind of like the modern day popularity contest. I don't really want to participate. But the thing is, if I did participate, I probably would do a lot better on Twitch. I don't know. Yeah, it is weird that you have to click this button. I just don't think it's honestly, to me, it also is just weird to call Next.js a framework, because when you really think about it, they provide routing and data loading. That's it. You still need a bunch of other stuff if you're building a React app. And so like it's like a tiny framework. I don't know. What's up, Bacon Parter? I want to thank you for sharing your knowledge online, because thanks to you, landed my first web dev job. Nice. Nice. And congrats. Did that recently happen? Congrats. Oh yeah, no worries, Oscar. Yeah, I honestly I didn't even realize. I think some people in the course mentioned it. Like the course was actually happening over Ramadan. So yeah. Why did React switch from Create React App to Create Next App? I think like, so Create React App is it's dead. If you look at it, like the actual GitHub repo has not been updated, or it hasn't been updated since September, which is kind of crazy. Like this Create React App is from the core team. But I think what they're also realizing is that like they won't maintain a project generator anymore. They'll just use ones from the ecosystem that a lot of people prefer. And then there are just some various issues with how Create React App handles imports and support of like Tailwind and some other things. So basically the advice is just don't use Create React App anymore. And Vite is kind of like the best alternative for that. You got a tweet to go viral? Let's check it out. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, Bogdanovich. This is like your tech stack, and it's just all Laravel. It's all Laravel. I get it. I guess, except for this. Did you mean it to be funny? I guess you did, because you're responding to this person who's like, this is my tech stack for everything, and you're like, yeah, I just use Laravel and it works for everything. American 2050 says, I gave up on using Twitter since it became a feed of random people and not the people I'm actually following. Yeah, here's the thing, and the other reason why, like, I probably could be doing better on Twitter if I actually followed people. I don't know how their algorithm works, and I don't know if you look in the recent source code release of it, like, do people that follow more people, do they get more traction? Because I'm literally following 0 people. But if I were to like follow all of the people that are interested in my content follow as well, would that help with my tweets gaining traction? Maybe. And Stas says, yes, it's worth sharing. But yeah, I think it's just, I've kind of just been that way my whole life. And I think I'm constantly proven wrong, because even some of the topics that I decide to cover on Twitch and in like short YouTube videos, like a lot of things that I did not expect to get traction, because I was just like, yeah, don't people already know this? They get traction because people didn't know that. So I'm really bad at gauging, is this something worth posting. And I think the Twitter playbook is just post everything, because not everything's going to stick. Eventually things will stick, and then that's how you'll get even more popular. But yeah, meta framework. Thanks for the stretch, Netbog. Yeah, the Twitter algorithm is open source. I just haven't looked at it. And yeah, I could see that, Stas. So Stas is saying there are cool discussions if you follow the right people who discuss technology's aspects rather than lists of useful links. Right. And I've seen all kinds of content, and I think that is some of the content that gets traction. It's people who are just like 10 low code tools you can use to never write code again. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But I've seen some interesting discussions as well. But I think it's just, for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, some people are just mean, and so that also comes across on Twitter. I don't know. Yeah, okay, that's the other thing is, so yeah, with Create React App, the Webpack config is hidden away from you, but if you want to modify it, you have to eject it, which creates a bunch more source code in your repo that you now need to maintain. There's a way to not have to do that, but it's not from the official package. It's called like React App Rewired or something like that. But it's not official. So yeah. Should I go for Create Next App then? I would say Vite. So like if you want the same experience as Create React App and you don't want to start learning Next.js, just use Vite. Because it lets you just generate a plain old React app. So if you run this command, choose React when it asks you, and then it gives you a choice of React or TypeScript, and you can just go from there. But yeah, basically, if you were using Create React App, these days just use Vite instead. Banger tweet, I agree. What is this? All lowercase. Okay. I guess that's it. This is the algorithm. It just if the length is less than 2, 0. What does sentiment analysis do? Oh, you got to use exclamation marks. Nice. Dang, you get 5 points for every exclamation mark. Great. Looking at people I don't follow is one of the things I love about Twitter. Yeah, I guess that's super interesting, because like if I look at my my home feed, I'm not following anyone, and the algorithm is still smart enough to show me tech related things, because that's all the people that follow me, I'm guessing. I don't know why I'm seeing all of these Korean posts now. What is happening? Krakow, yeah, that's the Create React App Rewired, or I don't know if they have a different name for it. What's up, Imageit? Welcome in. Isn't Next.js ignoring SvelteKit and trying to just use Svelte at some point? You need a powerful router, right? What do you mean? I think I missed your point, America 2050. Are you saying if you choose something like Next.js, you're not getting like a lot of the benefits from if you were to choose something like SvelteKit? I don't know what you're trying to say. The web is so crazy. I'm so glad I do backing languages and not scripting languages. Yeah, I think that's also what's interesting is it does kind of seem like backend is a bit more stable. Like there's kind of like less innovation happening in backend, at least in the code that we write. There's a lot of innovation happening in deployment strategies and serverless databases and like scalable databases and stuff like that. But the actual code that we write for our own backends isn't changing much. Yeah. If you want to be fast, use Vite. Exactly. Rusty says, talking about Vite, now it is using React Fast Refresh, so it complains when you export something that is not a component from the same module, like defining a provider and a function to consume that same context slice. I've never come across this, but if I understand you right, if you have 2 named exports in a file, React Fast Refresh doesn't like that. If one of those named exports doesn't match the type of the other, like if one of them is exporting, I don't know, an object and the other one's exporting like a functional component, you're saying that has issues? Yeah, so the thing is, I got the blue check because I wanted to be able to edit one of my tweets. But what I didn't realize is that after I paid for the blue check, I actually had to wait like 4 days before I could even benefit from the features of the blue check. And now I just keep it because it kind of does look like my tweets do better. Like more people see my go live tweets now that I have the blue check. I don't know. Sooner or later you need a router. Yeah, but you could still do routing without Next.js. You just choose a library for that. So yeah. Just a patch? I wouldn't say it's just a patch American 2050. I've worked on like really large production applications that are completely a single page application that are all React Router. So it varies. I don't know. Yeah, and maybe that's the thing, but it honestly might be the death of React to say that it's now just Next.js. It's now just a full stack framework because like this actually by choosing Next.js, it actually introduces a lot of complexity that you don't really notice initially versus just choosing like client-side React. Yeah. Okay, so I understood correctly. Fascinating. I guess I haven't tried that. But it's not the end of the world because honestly, just define it in a separate module and then import it, right? But crazy. Oh, ESLint complains about it. I don't know. Solid is a specification that lets people store their data securely in decentralized data stores called pods. Does it use crypto? uh, It's pretty fascinating. I mean, I'm not saying there isn't any innovation. I'm just saying that it takes a lot long. So, but there's potential innovation, but ideas that actually stick and people continue to use, that seems more rare. I feel like Angular, the new version, is going to do better with signals and standalone components. Possibly. I think here's the other thing. So if you were here and you were around whenever Angular 2 initially came out, and so this is the more modern Angular that was TypeScript by default. When was Angular 2 released? Let's see. September 2016. In 2016, Angular was released, and I'm pretty sure in that initial release, they used TypeScript by default. So they were like six years ahead of their time because this is one of the reasons that it got a lot of hate early on is like no one wanted to use TypeScript that early. It was like very early days for TypeScript as well. But now, 6 years later, everyone's realized, hey, this TypeScript thing is actually a good idea. And so it's not that big of a jump to now use a framework that like uses TypeScript by default and has a bunch of other opinions that like make it so that you don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff that you typically have to make decisions for in other frameworks. So like Angular has been doing this stuff for a long time. And I think people are realizing that. Basically just like, because if you choose React, you're choosing to make a bunch of other choices. You choose React, and now you're like, all right, what do I want to use for global state? What do I want to use for routing? What do I want to use as my meta framework? What do I use to style my components? What libraries do I use to test my components? What do I use for doing like conditional class? Like all of these choices, there are like 5 different libraries you could choose for that. So when you choose React, you are choosing to make more choices. When you choose Angular, it's made all the choices for you. There's like a standard way to define components, a standard way to define your apps. I wouldn't say it has zero flexibility. I would just say it has opinions about how you structure your application. I guess it's less flexible in trying to get away from how it structures things, but at the end of the day, it still is just, it still is just components and TypeScript. So you can still kind of do as much as you want there. I don't know, but I don't think it's a long shot to say that Angular is going to become more popular because I think the front end ecosystem has matured to a point to where people are like, oh, we want opinions and we want TypeScript, and Angular has all of that, so let's just choose Angular versus choosing something like React. But I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like there's still room for other things. Like Quick is really cool, and Solid and Svelte are all really cool as well. But um, they don't, as far as I can see, don't really solve the problem of like a consistent code style and code base and consistent patterns in an app. They're still closer to React in that you can still kind of do whatever you want with the framework. But yeah. Wait, exclamation marks actually do better in the algorithm? Is that real? That thing wasn't a joke? Yeah, what's up, Dev Boy? I don't like I've written some React Native apps, but I don't think I have enough experience to build a course on it right now. Yeah. Yeah, solid apparently that solid thing we clicked on was completely unrelated to solid.js. Yeah. If you can get next to spit out a spa, then that should be all right. Yeah, but the thing is it's not the default. And I think that's kind of what I was saying earlier is like the default is to be server rendered, and you have to go into the configuration to change it to be SSG or SPA. Which isn't the end of the world, but I think that's a thing, right? wait, Tim Berners-Lee was behind Solid? Okay, now I'm more interested. Now I'm it's not just a thing. Because on the surface, it kind of just looks like it might actually just end up being crypto, which is fine. Oh, it is Tim Berners-Lee. Okay. Here's the thing. Tim Berners-Lee invented HTTP and he invented the URL and all that. So if he thinks that this is the next step, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Sort of. I bought a server that I wanted to set up as a home lab, but I haven't really got it going. I technically do have like an old laptop running Linux in my little closet that has my router, and I also have a dedicated firewall appliance, but that's the extent of it. I don't have any like custom servers or anything like that. Okay, it's not blockchain. Great. Wyclef asks, is it okay to code with an RTX 360 laptop for like rendering stuff? Absolutely. Honestly, if you find a laptop that's really good for gaming, it's going to be perfectly fine for development. I guess if you're also if you're trying to build games, then you definitely want a machine that can at least play the games that you're trying to develop. So yeah. Yeah, Jeff from Fireship made a video about Angular and basically smoked every other JavaScript library. Yeah. Yeah. It's not even possible to do a single fetch. You can do a single fetch with Angular. That's possible. David says, I used to dislike Angular because of the trendy opinions, but then I started using it for work and I quite enjoyed it. Yeah. I think this is the other thing about like a lot of like Twitter opinions and stuff like that. People can have opinions all day long, but what really matters is your experience with the thing, right? So if all you ever do is listen to opinions and you never actually try a thing, like that's not, I don't know where I was going with that, but that's not good. Like you need to actually try it, form your own opinions and decide, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't listen to these people that are just hating on this stuff that maybe have never actually ever used it or don't have a lot of experience with it. But I don't know. Oh, the blue check mark gets you more more traction. That's good to know. Yeah. Fun Planet says, I don't know what framework I like, to be honest. My projects lately have been cycling between React, Vue, and SvelteKit. Yeah, I like anything where I write less code. I honestly don't like writing code. If things are done for me, if there's some magic involved, basically whatever takes the least amount of code on my part to get a thing done, that's what I prefer. And that's typically Vue or Svelte. React always requires a bunch more code and a bunch more libraries to get things done. Yeah. What's up, Kiss My Pixels? Welcome in. Fetch was not available and you had to use a wrapper? Oh, well, the reason you use the wrapper is because it's tied into their render cycle and system. And honestly, the wrapper has more built into it than just plain old fetch. Like the $HTTP in Angular, I believe will throw an exception if it's not a valid status code, whereas like plain old fetch doesn't do that. So you do get some benefits from using their HTTP wrapper. You need a solid pod and a web ID. I'll have to look into this later. What does it mean? The thing is, like, decentralized makes sense. There are so many devices, and so like I think like edge computing is gonna have even like a newer meaning, because right now, like, by edge computing we mean basically like serverless functions as close as possible to the user. That's the edge. But imagine computing on all of the available devices that are out there, right? So like literally every mobile phone becomes an HTTP server. Then you have like a truly distributed web and like truly fault tolerant web, if that's a possibility. So that could be where we're going. My brain starts to hurt when I think about it, though. Isn't peer-to-peer illegal? Not peer-to-peer alone. Peer-to-peer is fine. Like a lot of video conferencing technology actually uses peer-to-peer because it's faster to send video direct to another user than send it to a server and then back down. Peer-to-peer is illegal if you're sharing copyrighted content over peer-to-peer, and that was one of the original, like one of the first uses of peer-to-peer with Napster. Basically, you had a folder of MP3 files and you just made them available for other people to download, and they actually downloaded them directly from your computer. It was a peer-to-peer connection. So I think that's why peer-to-peer has that illegality associated with it. And then also, like, torrents are actually peer-to-peer. So when you're downloading a torrent, it is connecting to some other user, but that's not illegal. What is illegal is sharing copyrighted content over that peer-to-peer connection. And yeah, like games are potentially peer-to-peer if you have like multiplayer games and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not illegal yet. Imagine if you could go to jail for connecting directly to someone else's computer with permission, right? Like if you literally have a protocol that can transfer data from peer to peer. I don't know. Yeah, and this is what I was saying earlier. Fater is like, and I think that's why people are realizing, like with Angular, you don't have to make these decisions. The things are just built in, and if at the end of the day you can use all of the more modern stuff that people like signals, and maybe like the more fine grained like view updates and stuff like that, why not just use something like Angular? Yeah, so there are peer-to-peer protocols that work inside of the web browser, specifically WebRTC. And so this is the specification that most web browsers have implemented. And when you're using something like Google Voice, or I think even Discord, it actually uses WebRTC behind the scenes, which is a protocol that just works inside of the web browser. So this is a way of connecting two different web browsers together as peers. And you can share data over that connection. People have built like little chat applications that actually work peer-to-peer, like to show you examples of WebRTC. The thing is, typically with WebRTC, you do need some backend server to help set up the initial connection, because if you don't have a backend server, how do two peers find each other to know that they can communicate with each other? There are various strategies, because like technically, if you use like just the raw WebRTC API, you could get back like a unique ID, a signaling ID, and then you can actually just like share that in a text message or like a Discord message, and then you could use that to connect to the peer. But typically there's also a thing called a signaling server, which facilitates the connection between the peers. But yeah, this WebRTC stuff is just built into the browser. I've implemented stuff with this. I worked on a healthcare product that did video conferencing, and we used WebRTC for that. Yeah, so then the turn server is typically how you can do things like traverse firewalls. So like if the peers can't connect directly because of some firewall or like network issue, turn servers help with that. I think that's right. There's also stun servers. I can't remember the difference. Session traversal utilities for NAT. Traversal using relays around NAT. Yeah, so this is a protocol to allow a computer to send and receive data behind a NAT or firewall. Yeah. So you would use something like this, and there are some freely available. Okay, now I know. So, turn servers aren't typically free to use because it actually the data has to travel through some third-party server. So typically this is like the service you have to pay for. Stun servers you can find some free instances of, and this also does help with the initial connection. But sometimes it's like impossible for two peers to connect, so you need a turn server. But that's a thing. So yeah. Thanks for the hydrate, Sip and Tears. And Capchica, thank you for the posture check. I don't know. Does Google have a free turn server or a free stun server? Maybe I'm confusing the two. Yeah, but I would say in my experience implementing this stuff, like 80% of the connections that happened actually didn't even require a turn server. They could just be direct peer-to-peer. Yeah. Yeah, I know I keep leaning forward and I shouldn't. You're saying I should be sitting back a little bit? I mean, I haven't adjusted my. Oh, I just sunk. Give me a second. I gotta fix this. Uh-oh. I think I have. Yeah, I have a lean back. I have a lean back adjuster on this chair. Oh, look at that! That actually like locks it in place. Oh wait, now I'm stuck back. I don't know how to go back forward. I've broken my chair. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna hide my camera so you don't see me struggling. Well, oh, it it just clicked. There we go. I was about to look up the I guess I'll do it anyways to see what I was missing. The IKEA Marcus owner's manual. These are the assembly instructions. Okay, I know this. This goes up and down. Hey, what's up, Nico? Welcome in. And then this is the one forward unlocks it. Then with weight in the chair, you can lean back or lean forward and then lock it in place. I think I'm at 110 degree now. Yeah. You have to lean back to, okay, so now it's locked. I'm okay with this. I'm a little bit further away from the screen and the microphone. Well, there we go. Now do a bench press. Yeah, I would say like chairs are actually really important, especially if you're sitting down all the time. I stand in this desk um a lot. And more recently I got to a point where it's there's not there's my desk is in a way that can be easily be brought up and down because for a while I don't know, I just had like wires going off of it and like a microphone stand attached to it. So like it it wasn't nice to be able to I wasn't able to easily raise it and lower it all the time. Whereas now I can. So yeah. Yeah. What's up, just 7 stars? What are we doing with Remix? Oh no, we were talking about you can't use the parent data loader in a child nested route. Somebody brought this up. I've never used it. That's the only reason I had the docs open. Do I wear shoes to prevent fatigue? No, I have a anti-fatigue mat. I don't even think it's a specific brand. One of these. Um, it's pretty thick. My wife got it for me for Christmas, and that's what I stand on. Favorite Aeron feature is that it follows you forward, so it supports you even when you lean. Oh, I've never seen that before. They're actually it's interesting that we're talking about chairs because there was some drama around Herman Miller, who make those really fancy and expensive ergonomic chairs. So that's a thing too. But yeah, let's look at these status codes to see which ones we've never used or never heard of. I wear Crocs for mobile fatigue. That's a mobile fatigue everywhere you go. It's a fatigue mat everywhere you go. I don't think I've ever used HTTP 205. Form-based authentication can either succeed or fail. When failing, the usual behavior is to display the form again with all fields cleared. Guess what? The 205 status code is dedicated to that. Fascinating. We just learned something. I don't think I've used 428 either. When using optimistic locking, validation might fail during an update because data has already been updated by someone else. The origin server requires the request to be conditional, intended to prevent the lost update problem where a client gets a resource, modifies it, and puts it back to the server. I've used 409. That's like if you try to create something that already exists. Why would you want to reset the inputs a user filled if the submission was successful? This is not. I was about to say this is not a good behavior. Um, yeah, and that's. I mean, yeah, I didn't do the numbers, Stas, but it was something like she. I think she got something like a close to like $4 million bonus, and the whole drama was like the employees didn't get their bonus, and she was telling them to stop complaining about it. And it's in like what Stas is saying, if she would have just taken her own bonus and gave it and split it up among all the employees, then they would have gotten a bonus. So um, basically, it's just bad leadership. Um, like I think a good leader when times are tough or things are bad, like they take the hit, right? They don't make their employees suffer for it. In general, and in most scenarios, I believe that. But yeah, I don't think this is good behavior. I think if you clear the form on failure, that's like the worst user experience ever because the form didn't submit successfully, and now they have to re-enter the whole form. So yeah, I think their comment is misplaced here. But if it was a successful completion and you're responding with an empty form, then I think a 205 would make sense. Yeah, I've used 409. I've not used 410. Gone. How is that different than? I guess it's not a 404 because a 410 is like it used to be here, but it's not here anymore. Yeah, so typically when something's not found, it returns a 404. What if the resource existed before, but it doesn't anymore? Okay, I've never heard of that one. Um, access to the target resource is no longer available. Fascinating. I'll be honest, this is kind of making my back hurt to be that far back. So I'm gonna go back to here. Yeah, I think that would make sense. 410 for like this page used to exist, but it doesn't anymore. If you're like crawling a website's URL pages. Fascinating. Great work, Frankel. I like that. Upvote. There was an attempt. did I not merge uh, your PR in Shark Turnup? Maybe I just haven't pulled it down. Because we did merge it in, didn't we? cdn.stup.dev. Unable to find resource. Learning. Here, let me make sure I have the latest code. Um, what has changed? That seems fine. That also seems fine. It is sanitized. No, it is. And it's also not only sanitized, but we have an allow list for VIPs and mods to they can put their CD in there and then they're allowed to embed images, which is why you saw there was an attempt because if people try to embed images and they're not a trusted user or they're not using an allowed domain, it won't embed this stuff. Um, yeah. Are you new here, Sipping Tears? I feel like I've seen you in the chat before. I guess not. I mean, you've been following since February. But yeah, there's actually some. Once this restarts, I'll show you. You can do some fun stuff. You can use marquees in. You can use the font tag. That'll let you change the color and like the font face. You can't specify a style attribute. Oh, what's up, baby? Nice. So yeah, you can do various HTML things. Let me show you. There we go. So now the URL is whitelisted, so that image can be embedded. Marquee tag right here, right now. So marquee. I feel like isn't there a Naruto run? Yeah, like this. It's tiny. What if I do this? No. Yeah, so that's what I think Oscar has done. If you nest a bunch of marquees and it goes like much faster. Yeah, you see how fast it goes. um yeah, it's unfortunate if you get locked out because of mobile two-factor authentication. There should be a way to like override that. But you can also it's super fun. You can use the font tag. I don't know all the attributes of the font tag, but I think if you do something like a font that I have installed on my computer, it will actually use that font. Let's look up the font tag. I think the font tag is technically deprecated, but you can still use it. Yeah, so the font tag is deprecated. Face is what we want. So if I do font, face, cursive, and color, red. Yeah. So you can get fun with it. You cannot use the style attribute on anything. Uh, there were because people were embedding elements that like took up the whole thing and just like blocked everything. So no style attributes, but you can use the font attribute. And there no canvas, no SVG. There's some stuff that is supported. Cool. What now? How's everybody doing? It's just good to see you all. Like it was. I think it's pretty weird streaming React Roots, but not being able to interact with the Twitch chat. Um, because that's typically what I do. And also, like my viewership dropped drastically during React Roots. So, oh yeah, and then you have a progress bar. That's actually pretty funny. Um, let's play city guesser. I'm down for that. And then I'll move into just chatting. I guess there's not a city guesser. There is a city guesser category. The course went pretty well. I got really good feedback from everybody that actually attended. Everyone that gave feedback that was in the course basically they said they got out of it what they wanted, which is really all you can ask for in a course, right? So yeah. Took my advice in reviewing JavaScript and DOM on FreeCodeCamp. Nice lot. Glad to hear it. Yeah, and I think that's the other thing is I potentially want to do some content around this stuff because I did mention that in order to be comfortable with the stuff we covered in the React Roots course, you should be comfortable with all of this stuff. And so if you're not, that's technically what you kind of need to work on. So even things like if you've never used map or filter, like for a lot of people, React is sometimes the first time they've ever even used map or filter, but it would be good to use map and filter outside of the context of React. Also having a good grasp on like scope and stuff like that. I might pick some of these topics and do some YouTube videos on them because even like scope, surprisingly, I guess people that are earlier in their JavaScript career, they have some trouble with like differentiating like function and global scope and variable shadowing and stuff like that. Yeah, we're still working on listed. We'll be working on it on Friday. Yeah. Reduce confused the heck out of me the first day I read it. Yeah, I mean, it still confuses a lot of people and experts. Is backseat gaming allowed if you play City Guesser? We'll play a few rounds where it is. All right, so this is free for all mode. If you know where this place is, throw it in the chat. Here we go. These are only going to be U.S. cities. This looks like New York City, right? Come on. I guess it could be like. We'll see. We'll wait for the sign. That's the NYU colors, though, isn't it? Is it Canada? Let's just do New York, New York. It's not New York. Okay. Let's wait for some signage to help us out. It can't be. It won't be Canada. It's only U.S. for this one. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. That is not a New York bus. It's Chicago, Illinois. All right. It's Chicago. All right. We've got a rainforest cafe on what looks like a boardwalk. Could be a coastal city. Did anybody watch that? It was actually two different YouTube videos. What's his name? Eddie Burback? Eddie Burback? They visited every rainforest cafe in the U.S. So this had to be one of them that they visited. This is the U.S. Columbus Boulevard. Is this the one in Ohio? Yeah, I don't know his last name. Eddie and Ted Nivison. Ted Nivison is the one that actually enjoyed it. It was what they wanted to do. Eddie didn't have as good a time. Um, is it Myrtle Beach? I could be. Let's try Ohio, but let's try Ohio. It's not Ohio, so maybe it is Myrtle Beach. And where is Myrtle Beach? South Carolina or North Carolina? Florida? I don't know. Is it Atlantic City? Oh, it is. Nice. Good one, Shark Turnip. Let's watch a little bit more of it just to see though. I don't remember them talking about this one, but they probably did. Fascinating. There actually was a rainforest cafe in Colorado here, like here in Denver. It was in one of the malls. But then it got some hail damage and now it's a taco restaurant, so it doesn't exist here anymore. Where are the casinos? I think they're like in the city. Maybe there are some on the boardwalk too. Yeah, that's wood. Yeah, yeah. So it's, I mean, I'm sure it's treated because it's outdoor, but it's a boardwalk. You're literally walking on boards. Maybe these are some casinos? Let's see. I've been to Atlantic City like twice. I honestly don't remember it that much though. What's up, Nocano? Welcome in. It's been a while. Whose emotes are those? Because those are really cool. Oh, I guess they're on 7TV. Nice. Nice. Welcome in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's got to be the beach over to the left here. All right, let's keep moving. And you're welcome to just throw it in the chat if you know where it is. Let's see. In the chat, do you know just by this one photo where is this in the United States? There's Walnut Street. But I would guess if you're familiar with these kinds of cities or this city, then you would be familiar with these street signs. I don't think I've ever seen a city with street signs that look like this. Is it Fayetteville? Arkansas? Let's see. It says it's not Arkansas. I feel like if you've seen this, then maybe you know. Like, is it San Fran? I've never seen a street sign like that in San Francisco. It's not California. All right, we're gonna keep watching then. I don't know, just 7 stars. English is weird. Arkansas. Yeah. Kansas? Detroit? It's not Michigan. It's not Pennsylvania. Okay, the light is green. I was like, why haven't they gone yet? I feel like we've seen this video before. Okay. Somebody's got to know. What is this stadium? Anybody know? I guess not somebody. There's not that many people here. Um, I have no idea. Cardinal. Where do the Cardinals play? Baltimore? Maryland? Texas? It's not Texas. Missouri? It's not Missouri. The Arizona Cardinals? It's not Arizona. Charlotte, North Carolina? It's not North Carolina. It's not South Carolina. Is it Alabama? Well, yeah, there was Rosa Parks. So is it Montgomery, Alabama? It's not Alabama. 42 more guesses. I mean, we're just gonna guess till we get it. I've never seen this city before. 2nd Street East. Let's see this license plate if we can. That's an Ohio license plate. It's not Columbus. What are some other cities in Ohio? Cleveland? Utah looks like what people think Denver looks like. Like the mountains are like super close to like Salt Lake City. Whereas in Denver, we're actually like kind of far away from the mountains. Toledo? Cincinnati? Cleveland. No, that's not it either. Cleveland? So American 2050 wrote this. He says that actually if you're one letter off in a typo, it'll support it. Cincinnati. Yeah, I've never been to Cincinnati. Fascinating. It's very unique. Like I said, I've never seen another city that has street signs like this. I'm not gonna wait through a through a red light. Here we go. Baltimore Street. Are we in Maryland? Baltimore. Easy. Easy. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of states and cities with the Baltimore Street in it, but that was just lucky. All right, so this city has a cable car. You can see the cable here, and then the railroad tracks. So it's in the west, maybe. Seattle? Anybody know what this transit sign? It's too fast. Is it Portland? I've never been to Portland. Let's try it. Not Oregon. Memphis. No way! Memphis has a cable car? I've only like driven through Memphis. Yeah, I saw Memphis on the side of the building. I just thought it was the name of the like a business. Apparently, Memphis, Tennessee has a cable car. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of the cities that had cable cars got ripped out and replaced with buses. It's actually really sad and a tale of like the oil company, automobile industry takeover. But so it's cool to see that some cities still do have a cable car in them. Do solid principles apply to TypeScript? Sure. I don't even know what the solid principles are. But yeah, it pretty much apply to any programming language. I think especially TypeScript because it's in JavaScript and you can use classes and so you can do like object-oriented things. So the single responsibility principle, open close, the Liskov substitution, interface segregation, and dependency inversion. Sure. Yeah, I mean, TypeScript also seems very inspired and influenced by C#, and C# would have solid principles as well. Cool. I need to visit Cincinnati and Memphis. That's what I need to do. All right. This feels like West Coast. Try what mode? Oh, how many cities? There's an old mode. But yeah, I mean, my gut feeling was like Seattle, but maybe not. I don't recognize that trash can from Seattle. Oh, videos from 1980 and earlier? That could be interesting. There's no way in the UI to do it? We'll do it after this one. Yeah, I guess you're right. This foliage does not match the Pacific Northwest. Hmm. Or does it? I don't know. Where are these trash cans from? Anybody recognize these trash cans? They look very unique. I see. East Coast? Hmm. I like the rain too. I should have paused. Is it Boston? Yeah, American 2050 made this. It's based on the same. Okay, that's a Washington. That's a Washington plate. It's not Washington. Okay, or is that an Oregon plate? It's Oregon. Is it Portland, Oregon? See, we were. This actually is the Pacific Northwest. You all. You think you know, but we just missed it. But that was. I'm pretty sure that was a Washington license plate, and then it would make sense that they're in Portland because it's not too far from the Washington border. Yeah, so there's literally an app called City Guesser, and it does a similar thing, but you have to choose it on the map, and then you get points for like how close you are. And then America 2050, the one that they made, you just put the name of the state and the city in them. Fascinating. All right, we're gonna try old mode now. That's not old. That's also Las Vegas, Nevada. That's Fremont Street. Um, did I do it wrong? Bottom right on the main page. Oh. Well, I don't want copyright issues with the music. Okay, now we're gonna play old mode. This can be anywhere in the world. Is that it, America 2050? What's up? Is it Gay or Jay? Welcome in. Unique trash cans are in Portland. Yeah. Okay, I forgot that we were watching that same video, but yeah, if we see those trash cans, we know it's Portland. Jordan? Is that the country or the? I'm see. The thing is, I'm like ignorant of geography around the world. I guess I can get my coloring book, my geography coloring book. The country is Jordan. Jordan? Then I don't even know what section it would be in. The Middle East, page 174. Okay, I see it. Jordan is just north of Saudi Arabia. Great. It's not Jordan. What? What? Jay? What are you saying, Jay? Um, Jordan? We can try Israel? It's not Israel. I mean, it kind of looks like Africa. Someplace in Africa. But Africa isn't a country. Africa is a continent. We need the country. Mali? Not Mali. Yeah. Chad? Turkey? What's up, SQL Wordster? Egypt? See, this is hard because it could be. I just don't know. Eritrea? I don't know where. I've never heard of that. Sudan? All this work for it not to be Jordan. I don't know. I just wanted to look at a map of the Middle East. Ethiopia? It is Ethiopia. What city in Ethiopia? So Lalibela, did you look it up? Does it have like these ruins? Yeah, you got it. Fascinating. I want to look it up. Um, hmm. It's carved in a mountain. Oh, you know the ruins. Nice. So cool. Fascinating. Yeah, I didn't know about this. Cool. All right, next one. Probably gonna be equally as hard. No, this kind of looks like the United States. All right, what city in the United States is this? That guy just walking. There's no crosswalk. Is it New York? Chicago. Let's try New York. It's not New York. It's not Illinois. Oh no, country would be USA. Ah. And then New York? It's not New York. Chicago. Yeah, I was gonna say America 2050 is like, I don't think they had synced audio video recordings. Let's wait for some landmarks before we start guessing. Or if you have a guess, let me know why you guessed that. Because I haven't noticed any landmarks yet. Man, people just be walking in front of cars. Like, look at this. It's crazy. LA? Oh, that's an emergency vehicle. So we tried New York. We tried. Was that Central Park though? Oh, we just typed NY. You can't type an abbreviation on here. That's the issue. All right. Is this a police? Yeah, get out the way. There's a police, dude. Slow down. Slow down. It was New York. I typed the abbreviation. I don't know if that actually was a police car. Yeah, I think you're totally right. So I think it actually was Central Park that it just passed there. Like that part right there. I guess it's a cut. Yeah. Yeah. See, this is Central Park. Whoa. This would be like the southwest corner or southeast corner of Central Park. I think this is the Columbus statue in Central Park, which is the southeast corner. Is that it? No, that's like properly in the park. This is the one. This is like the horse. I don't know. I don't know. But this does look like Central Park to me. All right. Next one. Whoa. Southeast? Yeah. I think that makes sense. Is it New York again? It could be. Yeah, you need to stop it from being the same city in a row. Or do you? But yeah, this is the Hudson River in New York City. Though I mean I don't recognize the skyline. It's so different today. Um I guess that makes sense, America 2050. This is an airplane. Are we supposed to know? Is it Fukushima? Or is it Japan? Not Japan. Is that where Fukushima is? Is Hong Kong a country or is China the country? Or is Hong Kong separate? So it's not Japan, it's not China. Is it Thailand? Hong Kong is in China now. What's SK? Singapore? It is Singapore. I don't know of any cities in Singapore. First of all, where is Singapore? I think it's over here. Here. And then is the city literally called Singapore? Singapore? I did not know that. So it's a city state. I had no idea. I guess typically you would associate it with Malaysia. Is that accurate to say? Look at that. They're completely separated from the mainland. Fascinating. Yeah, I don't even know what Singapore looks like these days. This is London. That's a copper. That's a copper right there with that um that hat on. Can I not? Can I? Do I have to do like United Kingdom or Great Britain? How do you spell? I don't know. Okay, is the country England? uh, it's not. Apparently, it's not. What is this flag? I've never seen this flag before. It's a British colony of some kind. Did I not try United Kingdom? No, that's not it. New Zealand? Bermuda. Australia. It's got to be a colony of some kind because I mean, it's white people. They're wearing the UK police helmet. There's the UK flag and like this smaller flag. So, if anyone knows the UK flag, like or the colony flags, um, it is a red flag with the UK flag in the corner and then like some crown or something in the middle. Could we be in a country that doesn't exist anymore? You tell me. You made the thing. Is this South Africa? No, Malta, Canada, Canada. It is Canada. Fascinating. It just looks like London. It just looks like the UK. Yeah, see, I thought like this kind of look. I don't think this is Big Ben, but it looked like Big Ben. It's Toronto. Yeah, it's Toronto, Canada. No, that's fascinating to me just because of how close this is to the United States, and it just looks like it looks like the United Kingdom. Like it doesn't look this way anymore, does it? It's Toronto, Nathan Phillips Square. Let's look and see what Nathan Phillips Square looks like these days. I just want to see that same stretch of the city with people walking. Toronto Old City Hall. I mean, there's that clock. I want to see people walking around. It's still got the colony flags and everything. You're right. We need to find a city walk, or let's just type in walk. Oh yeah, this is it. This is it. It's so fun. Like this looks like New York City. It used to look like London, but now it looks like New York City. But I guess that's but I guess London just looks like London. London does not look like New York City, you know? Whereas like Toronto is like geographically like closer to New York City. But yeah, this just looks like London. Yeah, fascinating. The Suits, an episode of The Suits was filmed exactly where this video again is fascinating. I haven't watched that show. Yeah, that's super interesting. Let's see when was this video from? World War II street scenes. Home movie. So this home movie is from 1943. Huh, fascinating. Yeah. All right. Where are we at now? This looks a bit more modern, like 60s or 70s. So like 80 years ago. Huh. Right? Yeah, yeah. Whoa, is there gonna be is this video safe for work? America 2050. Um, Thailand. It is Thailand. Bangkok. It is Bangkok, Thailand. Great. I'm just okay. I'm just gonna. I don't know if there's any like nudity or anything. Like I'm gonna make sure we don't show that on stream. This is cool. This looks like it's straight out of Back to the Future. Like this doesn't look real. This looks like a movie set. I guess because all I know of this era are movie sets. But why is everything so clean and crisp and yeah. Is this Las Vegas? There's a sign for Las Vegas. Is it Hollywood? Let's try California. Well, we know it's the US. Is it Los Angeles? It is. Let's keep watching. Yeah, so we had to figure out what the country was first. Why is everything so clean? Let's see when this one was from. 1960s. Color restored from the 1960s.
We're in 5707 Santa Monica Boulevard looking east. You can see the old Sears building down the road on the left side, which was only recently demolished. The best happens towards on the left-hand side to what appears to be roller rink or something, and that fantastic whirling burlesque JGN they had. It was too far left to see the actual scene.
Fascinating. Oh, is that snow on the ground? It's a Davy on the train there. Yeah, cable cars. A bike cutting in front. It's chaos. Huh. It's chaos. Is it Chicago? It looks like they colorized it too. San Francisco? It's not the US. It's not Russia. Why is everyone wearing $2,000? Well, it used to be a thing where people would only own one suit, and that's just like what you wore all the time. Now we have just like cheap means of production, and like we just wear cheap clothes that we replace often. Canada, something office. So this is Canada, but where? I still, yeah. But the thing is, people used to only wear their suit. But I feel like it is a thing. Most people also only have one suit, and that's the suit that they wear when they need to wear a suit. Vancouver? Yeah, it's Vancouver. I can't tell if this is snow on the ground or not. I accidentally clicked back. Oh no. All right, let's do like two more, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Let's see. Are they putting out a fire? Why are they transferring buckets of water like this? Germany? They look German, don't they? It is Germany. They're reconstructing. Okay. Please. What's up, Alka? Welcome in. How long you been here? 36 months. Is that 3 years? 36 divided by 12 is 3. Nice. 3 whole years. Is Dresden in Germany? Um, isn't Berlin? It is Berlin. Okay, that was gonna be my next guess, but fascinating. It's Berlin, Germany. A smooth ride. They're probably on like horseback or like in a stagecoach or something like that. Fascinating. I'm curious if the if the coloring was added afterwards or if this actually was a color video recording. Berlin in Potsdam, 1945. After the end of the Nazi regime and the unconditional surrender in May 1945, almost all bigger cities in Germany were destroyed. Huh. It doesn't say if they colorized it afterwards. Color videos didn't exist yet? Okay. They had drones back then, apparently. No, this is probably just a plane, an airplane. I mean, this is insane. The thing is, like, a lot of this was like civilian, right? Like, it's crazy, but I guess obviously, the the Nazis and the whoever else was on their side. I'm not that great at history, okay, but they also destroyed civilian places like in England and stuff like that as well. But it's crazy to think about that, like civilian buildings would be destroyed during the war instead of limiting it to like army bases and that kind of thing. Insane. Look at all those bullet holes. Color had just been introduced by RCA, so it's possible this isn't colorized. It's possible this is actually recorded on color because color film uh, was invented in 1899, and the fully functional system was from 1906. It's probably just more expensive. Allies using firebombing was shameful. Yeah, I mean, all of war is shameful. Just don't kill people. Just work it out. Go sit in a room, talk it out. All right, this is gonna be the last one. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out where this is. It's wait, wasn't there that comedian that had like the talking dog? It was on Comedy Central. What was that called? Was it Courage? A real talking dog. Okay, it says chocolat. So is this France? It is France. Triumph, yeah. Yeah. Chocolat. Triumph the insult comic dog. Um, I mean, is this a Paris? Paris, France. So to speak French, you just don't say the second half of a word. Paris, France. Look at me. I'm, I'm from French. Um, L'argent, tuer, croissant, Lorraine. Is this offensive? I don't mean to be offensive. It's just from what I have learned about the French language, it's like hearing people speak is so hard to convert that into um like written French because they don't like because there's so many like silent letters. Like they don't pronounce the entire word. It is France, not France. France. Je jouis des cours. Peixois and Renal. L'Arc de Triomphe. I don't know if I'm even close to the actual pronunciation of those. Cool. Now I'm just watching. I want to. I mean, when did the Eiffel Tower get constructed? All right, we'll do a couple of food ones because I'm about to go eat anyways. So here we go. Yeah, it's dinner time. It's dinner time. So we have to guess what country this is, and it's going to be showing us food. They are baking that in a wood fire oven. Fascinating. There's a bunch of white people now, so I don't think it's India. It could be like a tourist area. And I've never even seen that before, like what they just put in the oven there. Because it kind of seems like a crepe. It's not Italy. Yeah, it looked like a crepe. Oh wait, what's the? Oh dang, I wasn't able to pause. There was a language on that sign. I didn't get to see it. Chickpea flour with water. Chickpea flour, olive oil, water, and salt. What's this language? It is France. French. Or a place where they speak French, but it is France. Fascinating. Farine de pois chiche, huile d'olive, et sel. La marche provençale. I probably just sound like a French person with a speech impediment. Like I've never learned to actually speak French, so I should probably stop. Yeah. Cool. All right. Another one. All right, let's see. Papalandia. Is this pomme frites? I guess we could listen to what language they're speaking.
They have like ones with hot dogs and cheese. And
Speaking English.
then they have some others that have just cheddar.
USA.
And the
Mexico?
other ones, you can get them with meat and hot dogs and cheese on top.
And what is this right here? This the same thing? Is the hot dog stand like the other one?
Hot dog, yeah.
Okay.
It's a hot dog stand.
Okay.
Colombia?
Ew.
Not Colombia.
I think you're gonna see pretty much
I think
the same
it's
thing, like hot dogs and sandwiches.
at least that stall was. Is it Brazil?
Oh, they make sandwiches there.
Yeah,
So what is this right here?
that's just
So
like
that's
a
a tuna?
hamburger.
So why is the meat so skinny?
Why is the meat so skinny?
It's like
It's not Brazil.
Street meat. This is meat, street
Yeah.
meat.
Okay, yeah. I think it's cheating if America
This
2050
is
gives
another
it.
one right there. And this is that. So why do you have a lot of hot dogs there?
because that is what people eat. A
Oh,
lot.
this is pupusas right here. This is a pupusa, right?
Those are tortillas.
Did you hear her answer? He was like, "Why do y'all have hot dogs here?" Because it's what people eat. Ecuador? Okay. What did Lot say? Okay, but did I spell Ecuador right?
Then you take it to your house and like they prepare it in a minute.
Okay.
Salvador?
And that's another reason why the meat is so thin because they.
It is El Salvador. I would have no idea.
And what is this right here? What are they going right here?
Thing in a different bread.
So is it tortilla? What is it?
No,
what
it's
is
a
it?
torta.
A torta. And it come with avocados. What did it come with?
They put avocados, beans, American cheese, the suspicious meat, and then
Suspicious meat. Oh, the meat over there.
The guy narrating is just hilarious to me. Cuz he very clearly he wants to learn, but he also is just very American, you know? All right, where is El Salvador? Here. Fascinating. Suspicious meat. All right, let's do one more. Here we go. This might be Japan. Or just, at least a Japanese food stall. It's Japan. Easy. Let's watch a little bit, though. Is that taro, probably? Or no, like red bean paste. Weaves. Yeah, so for these food ones, we only had to guess the country. Takoyaki? Isn't that octopus? These are just little buns with filling. It's like a red bean paste bun, or in this case, like a cream bun. I don't know if that's called takoyaki. Dorayaki? Sweet red bean pancake. Yeah, that's it. That's gotta be it. Mm.
A little bit, yes, please.
These are takoyaki, right? They put the yeah, that's octopus right there. And they put octopus inside? Is that real? Or does the batter already have octopus in it? Take any word, put yaki at the end, yes. Teriyaki? Takoyaki? I mean, it probably means something specifically. And then what was the other one? Dorayaki? Yeah, so they're putting like a little shrimp in there? Or not shrimp, octopus? These are like... potato? Okonomiyaki. Nice. They're like pancakes, cabbage pancakes of some kind? Alright, one more. Those are potatoes. I mean, those are french fries. Those are gonna be french fries. Easy. Watch your fingers. Is it India? I want to see more of it before we guess. McDonald's in Chicago. I mean, they're making French fries. It looks like, anyways. Or not. Okay, so did we see what this is? It's just like a flour of some kind, or a starch. This is gonna make them crispier when you fry them. Sri Lanka? Did you hear what language they're speaking? Oh, it's like a food stall. Fascinating. Okay, this has to be the last one. Yeah, it looks... I mean, I can't tell. It's also like some stylized text on this. Is that Arabic? I actually couldn't tell. It is Arabic? Okay. It's always hard to tell when it's like stylized on like packaging instead of just like straight characters. Pakistan? It's not India. It's not Pakistan. Yeah, India and Pakistan, they don't speak Arabic there, do they? No, they Urdu. They speak Urdu. Yeah, they would have Hindi or Urdu. I don't know. Like, is Urdu the spoken language? Hindi like the written language or something? Or they're two different language? Urdu is written in Arabic? Okay. He just keeps adding oil. Oh, they're different. Okay. Not Morocco? Lebanon? Let's see. Let's see. Show me more. I mean, I actually really like how a lot of these food stalls just let people film them and they don't even they doesn't even like they don't even care that they're on camera. I feel like in the US, if you try to film people at a food stall, they like perform for the camera. All right, let's try Lebanon. Lebanon. It's not Lebanon. Bangladesh. We tried Pakistan. Morocco? Morocco. No, exactly, sipping tears. I mean, that probably happens with all the people on TikTok and everything. I mean, even in the US when I'm IRL streaming, I try to be as polite as possible. Even like when I walk into a business, like, can I film in here? Is that okay? You know? I did not try Saudi Arabia. Morocco. That didn't do it. Egypt? No. Saudi Arabia. Syria. What did Lat say? Afghanistan? It's Afghanistan. Okay. 18-year-old hardworking Afghani boy making crispy French fries. Oh, that's it. So they're not going to show us any other stands. How would I have known that this is Afghanistan though? Oh, that's sick though. He's got nice seasoning on them. I would stop at this stall and get me some fries. Definitely. Look at that. That looks great. You can't end it on fries. And then they add mayo. It looks like ketchup. Mayo or ketchup? I'll do both. The thing is, like, I lived in Germany for a while, and in Germany, at least the way I remember it, is they default to mayo. So when you get fries, they give you mayo, and then you have to ask for ketchup. But I'll do either. Sometimes I just mix them together, create my own little fry sauce. All right, one more. You ruined everything. I mean, you could ask for the sauce on the side. All right. Another one. All right, we've got some chives, sort of like green onions, salt probably, meat of some kind. He also put an egg in there. Some dough. Is it Thailand? Is it like a roti? Is that the right way to say it? I don't think this is a roti. It isn't, is it? Did I try Malaysia? A giant ravioli. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. You know, it's just like good ingredients inside of some kind of fried dough. Fried crepe. I'd eat it. Not India. It is a lot of oil and a lot of salt. It's definitely not healthy, but probably tastes great. Sri Lanka? Vietnam? Now let's listen closer to what they're saying, or try to. 80% oil, yeah. Indonesia? Hey, Jerry, welcome in. It is Indonesia. It's actually funny though, because like, I mean, in the US or in other places, we would just deep fry this. So you literally have a fryer that has oil that deep. And so instead of deep frying, it's like a shallow fry, but they keep putting the oil on top of it. But it's probably the same as like deep frying. You Google the name on the can. Yeah, there's like a tambourine happening in the background. Which one? Oh, this one? Minyak? Wait, did the video restart? I think the video restarted. One more. That might be copyright music. This is the game that we're playing. America 2050 in the chat. They created it. Sri Lanka? That's been the guess before. Mm-mm. I mean, this looks good too. Just like some stir-fried veggies. Got okra. That's all I recognize so far. I don't know what these other things are. Please subscribe. Street food video. Has to be Texas. Okay, so cauliflower, and then maybe those are mushrooms on the left. I'm just curious if the music is happening at the place or if they added it on top of it. Because if it's happening at the place, this could just be like in the US, but like a certain food vendor in the US. Though I do have to say their food safety practices are probably not up to par with the US. So I don't think it's the US. Like just because of like the amount of stuff that's just like being left out here, and also like the reuse of utensils. I don't know if there's any meat involved, but typically like in the US, you're not supposed to cross-pollinate your utensils that touch meat and your utensils that touch vegetables, depending on like if you're trying to support like vegetarian friendly or vegan friendly food. And I guess also the fact that they're cooking in the same thing over and over again. I think that's kind of against food safety practices. It's not Malaysia. It's not Sri Lanka. Anybody know what this little seasoning on the left over here was? Also, I haven't noticed any like unique things yet. Maybe not the health code standards, but honestly, you'd be surprised at how gross the left restaurants are. Yeah, I guess you're right, Codex. It's like people can't see it anyways. But the thing is, like, there's an entire, like, you have to have past food safety training, and you have to, you're like your restaurant needs to be, what's the word, audited so often. But you know. So yeah, I know it happens, but I also know that most places have to have someone trained in that. Like when I worked in a restaurant, I actually took the training. There's also training on like how you unload a truck that has food on it. Like you want to check the temperature of like dairy and stuff like that. And you actually aren't supposed to accept it. And like there's actually agreements where like if the truck arrives and the stuff isn't at the right temperature, you're actually allowed to send it back and they won't charge you for it. Let's see. I mean, did we already guess like India? No. Yeah, possibly Codex. I mean, you're probably right. Like, there's probably ways around the health inspector. But I guess I just think of some of the more like fast casual restaurants in the U.S., like Chipotle, or like in Colorado we have Mad Greens, the kind of places that serve the food in a line and like you can see the kitchen and you can see the food that's being served. And so like restaurants like those, like you can tell they have to keep things clean because everybody can see into their kitchen. Did we try Thailand? We did. We did. He said thank you in Korean. Is there a North Korea one? North Korea food tourism? Not China. Yeah, I think everything here is vegetarian. I haven't seen any meat so far. There is a North Korean one? Okay, fascinating. Did we guess Taiwan? Laos? Take me to one of those restaurants where they cook in front of me. Yeah. At Carowinds, if we heard ahead of time that the health inspector was coming, the supervisors would have us make it look better than the day-to-day conditions. Yeah, I get that. I understand. But I think at the same time, like, just there is an entire industry around it, and so like most people working in food service like know what the rules should be, whether or not they adhere to them. I feel like in other countries they don't have that at all. So like there's no culture of even knowing about like cross contamination or like maintaining things at a certain temperature and stuff like that. This is Korea. It's not the Philippines. It's not Korea. I mean, show us something else. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I put South Korea in. I tried Vietnam. Doesn't have it. I guess that's true, right, Codex? They've been around longer than us, so like, does it really even matter? I don't know. Cambodia? It is Cambodia. I don't know how we would have known that. Yeah, good job. Good job. There's a lot of Koreans in Cambodia. Fascinating. Let's look at the geography of it because it's not my strong point. Okay. First of all, we need to find South Korea. Here is South Korea. Second of all, we need to find Cambodia. Where is Cambodia in relation to South Korea? Over here. You're working from Cambodia as a software dev. That's nice. So Cambodia is over here. Yeah, for whatever reason, people were speaking Korean in this video of Cambodia. All right. I used to watch this guy Food Ranger on YouTube. He went to a lot of crazy places in China, India. It was amazing to watch the street food. Yeah, I mean, I love travel videos. I love watching like street food from other countries and stuff like that. One more maybe, if it looks interesting. It looks interesting. All right, let's figure out what this is. Are they making pierogies or maybe like empanadas, or they might be making empanadas or dumplings of some kind? That looks like red bean paste. So this is like a red bean dumpling or dosas. Is this South Korea? Do you think it's Cambodia again? No. Yeah, it looked like red bean paste to me, which is like I only associate with Japan, but no. Georgia? What's up, Finder the Ice Wing? Welcome in. It's Korea. So this one was Korea. Anybody know what these are called? Handmade dumplings with 7 flavors. That's it. They're just handmade dumplings. I want to see, does he fry them? Does he boil them? He bakes them. I mean, we can also do this, and now we can just click around. Oh, they're baked. That's fascinating to me. I've almost always just seen like fried dumplings. I don't think I've ever seen baked dumplings. Yeah, muddy. I mean, kind of the same thing. Like, I kind of only, I don't really recognize this other food. I recognize the ingredients, but not the food. This is like a purpose-built oven? I thought bao buns were steamed. I don't think this is steaming them, right? This is like an oven because they come out kind of charred. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, these are baked. Woo! Woo! I've never seen that before. Awesome. All right, well, that was fun. Definitely check out City Guessin' if you want to play this game. And thanks to America 2050 for making it. And thank you all for hanging out with me. We talked about tech stuff earlier. Otherwise, we just kind of hung out. I enjoy just hanging out with you all. We should do it more often. Tune in tomorrow. So tomorrow is the interview with Jake Archibald. And should be a good time. So they'll be here in the morning, my time. If you go to coding.garden/schedule, it's going to show up in your time. Study break game? Yeah. Thanks for your new addiction. Yeah. I mean, I was addicted to GeoGuessr for a while. So yeah, Jake will be here tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, True of Mewtrue will be here as well. Shout out to Mewtrue. She also streams here on Twitch, but she'll be on the stream on Tuesday for an interview, and this is all in relation to JS Nation, which is happening in June. I will be there. I'd love to see you. It's gonna be fun. A lot of cool stuff's happening, and then also React Summit. Amsterdam is happening the day after this, and this is the conference that True is going to be talking at. It's in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you were here earlier, Stephen, or if you answered, but when did you change your name? You changed your name, right? Thank you for doing that. You're talking at the Polish Dev.js Summit? Nice. Yeah, feel free a lot. So we have a channel called Find a Peer on Discord. I don't know how useful it is, or I don't know if other people actually find pairs there. But if you look in the Discord, we have a channel called Find a Pair. You can post a message and see if anybody responds. But like I said, I don't know how active it is. Trying to get my job to pay for me to go. That'd be cool. They forced you to? Oh, wow. Did like Twitch send you a message that was like your username is inappropriate? That's crazy. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go on a raid. I don't know who we're going to raid, but whoever we do, drop a follow if you like what they're doing. All that good stuff. Also, be kind. Show them lots of love. Do the raid message. Here we go. And tune in tomorrow. So check the schedule. Tune in tomorrow. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Alrighty, everyone. And thank you, Steven. Thank you for the reset. Rip your family name. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.